All rise.
Review, Mr. Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. Today constitution will be Bank Bumiputera Malaysia Berhad and other vs Lauren Osman and others. Is the plaintiff ready?
Yes, the owner.
The intervener lawyer ready?
Yes, dear.
We now hearing opening statement from plaintiff.
Thank you, the owner. Today we will hear how the defendant Lauren Osman had breach of the fiduciary duty and receipt of secret profit. I will prove that the defendant received the sum of 27,652,853 through his solicitors in Kuala Lumpur, wrongfully and without the knowledge and approval of his plaintiff, and in breach of his fiduciary duty as director of the first plaintiff bank and chairman of the board of directors of the second plaintiff. That the owner, we ask the court in order to make an ex parte application for merchant injection to restrain the defendant from transferring his assets out of jurisdiction. We also ask the court to order the defendant to disclose the value, natural and whereabouts of his assets. We also ask the court for an untorn barrier order against Asparter. Thank you, the Honor.
Since the defendant did not want to defend himself, we will ask the intervener to make opening statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. I am Anand Krishnan, lawyers for interveners. I would like for the court to stop the Mariba injunction and Anton Pillar against my client. Thank you, Your Honor.
Today the court will start with the lawyer plaintiff.
Thank you, the Honor. I have three clear evidence about fraud and wrongdoing by the defendant. First, one is about personal loan by the defendant from Asia Alliance Finance and Investment, AFIL. He used cover letter by BMF as reference. Lauren also used deposit by BMF to AFIL as deposit of the personal loan by Lauren. Next, Lauren approved loan and credit facility by BMF to the Carrion Group of companies. The Carrion Group then gave cash to Lauren's solicitors in Kuala Lumpur, Mrs. Tiong and partners. Next, Lauren received the sum of 27 million Malaysian ringgit through his solicitors in Kuala Lumpur, wrongfully and without the knowledge and approval of the bank and the BMF, and in breach of his fiduciary duty as a director of the bank and chairman of BMF. Therefore, we are asking the court to order Lauren to return to them the sum of 27 million Malaysian ringgit which they claim are secret profit made by Lauren.
On the behalf of my applicant, Orchids Malaysia Sdn Bhd, Ori Wills Co Sdn Bhd, Asparta Rental Sdn Bhd, Asparta KS Sdn Bhd, and Asparta Paris Sdn Bhd, ask the court for the leave to intervene in this suit to enable them to apply for the relief stated in their application. Wherever injunction is only granted against a defendant and not against a third party, such as the interveners. My client and defendant are two separate entities, according to the case of Solomon and Co. 1897.
I have already made a finding earlier that there is a risk that Lauren's asset would be dissipated if the merchant injunction were not granted. For the same reason I have stated earlier, there is also a risk that all the relevant documents related to his assets would be destroyed if untorn bail were not granted. I would like to call Mr. Johari.
I do swear in the name of God that what I shall state shall be truth, the whole truth, nothing but truth.
Can you please introduce yourself?
I am Cik Johari bin Zakaria, the manager of the legal department of the bank.
Do you have anything to say about the case?
I believe that Lauren or Asparta Sdn Bhd have in their possession, custody or control documents and files which will throw light on the value, nature and whereabouts of Lauren's assets, and the order of the court would not serve personally on him. the bank and BMF are left with no alternative but to apply for Antempiller order. The bank and BMF have reason to believe that Lorraine directly or indirectly is endeavoring to sell or otherwise dispose of shares and securities belonging to him through a firm of stockbroker in Kuala Lumpur. And unless he refrains from so doing, any judgment that may eventually to be obtained against him in this action would not be enforced satisfactorily.
Thank you, Mr. Johari, for your statement. It's clear that Lauren Osman has breach of his fiduciary duty. The court also should lift the corporate fee of the company because of the fraud that happened. In DHN Food Distributor, various Tower Hamlets, London Council, the Court of Appeal held that where the question at issue was entitlement of the owner of a business to be compensated, extinguishment, and on the fact the trading company was in a position to control the subsidiary companies in every respect. The court could leave the corporate file which regarded limited companies as a separate legal entities and treat the group as a single economic entity for the purpose of awarding compensation disturbance.
Now the court will make the decision. The court has made the decision to lift the corporate veil of these companies, as it may possible fraud happen in the companies. The court has granted Mareba injunction and Antempillers toward the companies. Thus, the court held that it was necessary to identify all the assets owned by Lauren Osman. It is clear from the authorities that the court has the power to include an order for discovery in a Mareba injunction. There was sufficient evidence before the court in this case for it to conclude that there is that defendant's asset will be disposed of, thus reflecting on denying any judgment that the plaintiff may obtain against him. In the circumstances of this case, the Antempiller orders grant against the defendant and the company controlled and directed by him is justified in law. In this case, the balance of convenience is that the Mareba injunction should continue to pause until the trial of the action, and the Antempillers should continue to lie against Aspatras Demerhard. In my judgment, I find that the balance of convenience should be decided in favor of plaintiff. Thank you.